Okay, so this is your beginner activations video. So these are practiced before your workout, and we are going to cover activations for hamstring and hip flexors. So I will show the original exercise, and then you can have progression and adaptation as well. So in case you lack the range, then I'll also show you a modification. Okay, so for your progressions, what I quite recommend having is always having a loop band and a long band. If you don't have them, order them. If you are training with me, you are most likely already have them in your kit. And also for modification, it is quite nice to have yoga blocks. All right. So the first exercise are called stagger stance deadlift. So with a stagger stance deadlift, you want to make sure that you have your feet hip width apart, that your hips are staying square, okay, so like headlights facing, and that we hinge from the crease of the thigh. So we kind of actively pull the hip back as we hinge forward. When you hinge forward, the shoulders are still pulled back, and we kind of like tuck the tailbone backwards. So we still activate a little bit the core to ensure that we are not arching the back. We don't want to be too much like this, okay? What we do when we do staggered stance, we're actually going to bring one foot forward, flex the toes, and one foot stays at the back. I still have both of my legs straight, but when I do staggered stance deadlift, I place my hands behind the head. This will teach you to keep your spine straight, and then I hinge into a forward fold. So I bend my right leg, and my left leg is the one that is straight at the front. Okay, so the front leg stays straight and the back leg bends. As you can see, I actively pull my hip back, like I sit back on the chair from this leg, and I pull that hip back quite strongly, keeping that leg straight. When I come back up, I squeeze the glutes. Yes. So this is your original exercise. Okay, so keeping the hands here really helps. And if you want your progression, feel free to use your long band for this one. So I will demonstrate underneath the foot of the leg that stays backward. So the leg that comes forward comes through the band, and then we use this as resistance. So here we find 0 resistance, and then we got a little bit of resistance here and up. This gives a bit more glute activation. The thing that you need to ensure is keeping the hip square, keeping the front leg straight, and hinging and pulling that hip back. Yeah, so as you can see, my back is still quite straight here, but I'm not arching. Yeah, I'm still finding some neutral spine here. Okay, good. So your second move is very similar. It's a walking ostrich or ostriches. They come on the same pattern as your staggered stance deadlift, except that we sweep the arms forward. You can keep them up, and we walk. So we prep like we do a staggered stance deadlift. We sweep and we walk, and you keep walking. Okay, I'm going to turn around. So this one is a little bit harder for balance, because we might just compensate a little bit more. We sweep and we lift. We sweep and we lift. You should feel the pull again on the back of the straight leg at the front. Sweep and lift. That's your walking ostriches. Your third exercise for activation is your lizard pulses. So we come down this time into a low lunge. So here again, if you need to modify, we take beautiful core blocks. You can see here, I'm already getting quite a bit of depth, and that's enough. But if you want, and if you're comfortable, the hands come on the inside of your leg. Make sure that your knee stays aligned with the rest of your body and your foot. And then we simply keep that back leg straight, and we pulse through the hips, okay? Pulsing through the hips, up and down. Feeling the activation in the opening here, and activation into the hip flexor of the front leg. This is kind of big squeeze, yeah? Beautiful. Progression here, one arm comes forward, or low lunge, pulses. Those are quite advanced, yeah? As you can see, my back leg is still quite straight. Make sure that you don't strain your knees. Wonderful. The last exercise of your hamstring and hip flexor activations are hip flexions, holds and pulses. You will need possibly your little loo band for your progressions. We lie down. We simply lie down here and we bring the knee to the chest. Try not to tug the tailbone too much. Try and keep your spine quite neutral on the ground. But the aim is to try and really bring that knee as close to you as possible. You should really feel your hip flexor squeezing here. And once you have it there and you find your breath, we take the hands off and we try and hold that knee. Once you hold that knee for about 10 seconds, I want you to do your pulses here. Yeah? Okay. Progressions, placing your loo band on the feet and doing the same thing. So you have the resistance of the band. This adds quite a bit of resistance, letting it go. And this is a lot stronger. Pull your pulses. Yeah, make sure you're not pulsating from the pelvis, you're pulsating from the hip. Yes, here. Really start pulling from your pelvic floor as well. Feel that pelvic floor nice and strong. That's it. So my recommendation is if you do this before your workout, your practice, do about 2 to 3 exercises. Do in between 10 and 12, 10 and 15 rep, and you also want to do at least 2 sets, yes? If you are just practice this on their own, you can do the 4 exercises, you can do 10 to 15 reps and 3 sets. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that you enjoy your practice.